Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to talk about how to fix jacked up hip flexors. So if you're dealing with tight hip flexors, weak hip flexors, whatever you've been told, you've tried stretching, you've tried foam rolling, you've tried going to the PT, and you're still feeling jacked up. The issue is we are treating symptoms instead of looking at the more global issue here now to address the more global issue to create lasting change. So before I give out all the secrets, please do me a huge favor. Like the video down below. Please subscribe to the channel. Please share with a friend if you find this video helpful. One of the biggest issues we're going to see, or most common themes we're going to see, is people are kind of stuck in anterior tilt. Anterior tilt alone is not a bad thing. Posterior tilt is not a bad thing. The lack of variability typically is going to be the bad thing. So if we're kind of shoved into anterior tilt, I'm going to overgeneralize here. We're kind of going to be bringing origin and insertion of muscles that attach from the pelvis to the femur. So think hip flexors. Iliacus, so as major rec fem, even the rec fem we could say attaches closer to the kneecap or past the kneecap really because it crosses the knee joint. Generally speaking, we're bringing those points closer together. So if we're kind of pushed forward in space, we're losing space or we're losing length of those muscles. We're actually shortening them. So maybe we do need to stretch them, but even if we were to go down that rabbit hole or that viewpoint, we still need to get the pelvis into a more neutral position. So if we're kind of stuck in a certain position, generally the antidote is going to be to get out of that position more. So doing this too under load and building better movement patterns and better awareness around the pelvis is going to be what ultimately gives us some relief here, gives us the ability to really express strength and stability of those muscles because now we're in better positions to contract them. So if we had to finish there, that gives you no solution. It gives you kind of an answer without giving you actual answers. But that would be my greater viewpoint on looking at fixing those those tight or those weak hip flexors. So really the goal here is to get better awareness around where the pelvis is in space and do exercises that are going to help also promote getting into better positions so we can create that variability. We can now express stability, strength, etc. better. So kind of going through a checklist, we could start with passive stuff, but we need to make sure if I'm doing an exercise like a couch stretch, I'm having some sort of constraint like hugging a medicine ball, for example, where I'm going to make sure I'm actually getting into a neutral position at the pelvis. That can have a lot of value just from like a learning standpoint as well, like being stuck for 30 seconds at a time in a position that's going to be promoting me getting into that same position when I am doing a goblet squat, for example, counterbalance squat, anterior loaded split squat, which is the next stuff I'm going to mention, which is use anterior load. So do things that help us push our center of mass back. If I'm in anterior tilt, I'm kind of push forward in space. I want to get pushed back in space, right? I'm looking at exercises first, like a goblet squat or a counterbalance squat, where weight is forward. I can push back in space better. And when I say that, you're going to see a nice vertical spine. I can drop straight down in space. You're not going to see kind of what I call that stripper ass or that arch through the low back. We're trying to get rid of that. So we start with exercises that are going to be more promoting that position. I would then want to integrate that more into something that's going to be split stance. So if I did like a stationary lunge with anterior load, that back leg, back hip is actually getting in the true hip extension. So looking from the side view, my knee is actually behind my hip. Now I am at a neutral pelvis, neutral relatively speaking. We can get into more details there about front side versus back side, but relatively neutral pelvis, knee is behind hip. I'm going to be getting a lot of very beneficial length through that rec fem, even through that psoas as I'm going through hip extension. We're kind of eccentrically loading into it. So when I'm starting with any exercise, if I kind of lack range of motion, I'm trying to access better range of motion, I like to eccentrically or get kind of pulled into that range of motion first. For overhead positioning, maybe that's like a pull down instead of an overhead press first. For a lower body hip extension drill, maybe a stationary lunge like I'm mentioning here, that's what I want to start with. So we can kind of progress from passive to maybe some sort of like, anterior loaded squat pattern to a anterior loaded split squat pattern on a given day. Next thing we can do is actually train hip flexors directly if we think it's actually a strength issue. The issue with this as well is people will say like, oh, my hip flexor. Really, we have about 7 muscles that are probably going to be contributing to hip flexion. And like people will go on Physiopedia, WebMD, and be like, oh, my iliacus is messed up. It's like really that you're going to pick out that one singular muscle. It's like probably, again, more of a global issue. So I want to strengthen my hip flexor group. I actually love doing like a multi-hip machine. You can do the same thing on like a cable or even like a kettlebell lift. It's not a terrible idea for somebody who's like more relatively weak. But the biggest thing is making sure that we are still getting into good position at the pelvis. So if I'm doing these things with a fuck ton of anterior tilt, I'm not really fixing the issue. So on all these things, let's make sure we're really constraining and cueing the pelvis into a better position, whether it's the squat, whether it's the split squat, whether it's the actual direct hip flexor work. That's going to be the biggest thing here. And we could argue like, oh, it's weak core. Well, if we need to get better awareness or strength of actually training muscles like rectus abdominis, again, origin to insertion, train core, train gar hammer raises, train decline sit-ups, train GHG sit-ups, cable crunch, do some things that are going to actually help promote bringing those points together, both from a strength standpoint, but also from an awareness standpoint. So again, just to recap, Passive stuff's fine. Make sure we're looking at the pelvis. Everything I'm going to say here, look at the pelvis. So we can kind of go in a session passive. I like to do something more bilateral just to get the pelvis into a better position, push our kind of center mass back in space. So anterior load, goblet squat, counterbalance squat, whatever it is. Move into an anterior loaded split squat, and then we can do direct hip flexor work if we wanted to. That could be on a session, could be across a week, but these are the things that I'm going to be looking at to fix shitty hip flexors. Hopefully this helps. If you have questions, comments, concerns, drop it down below. Again, please like the video. Please subscribe if you're still here. If you're still here in the video and not subscribed, what are you doing? I do appreciate you being here though. And let me know what you want to see next. Thank you guys.